grace of heaven and the virtues of the masters. Today we're going to talk about. Today we're going to talk. I don't know. The slides are up there. Cause and effect, karma, the 6 paths of transmigration of the soul, actually. Okay. Okay. So the first thing that I want to mention here is that, well, basically we talk about nature, right? All in nature, everything it's unbiased, it's fair. Nature just is, okay? There's no, just like in the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu says, this Tao or this nature has no preferences, no biases, okay? And so, so everything is fair, okay? That's from this big universal view things, okay? So Tao and God is also just, right? So a lot of people, I'm sure everyone can accept that, but they just don't understand why they see in life that things are seems unfair, right? That's from a selfish or personal point of view, but so in life, right, we have different conditions, right? Let's say the conditions that we're born in, right? So when we're born, obviously we didn't choose to have this body, this certain characteristics. Those are all you can say they were predetermined. Well, they are predetermined, obviously, when we're born, right? So basically, those, some people, they're born with, maybe handicaps or they're born with certain physical characteristics that these obviously we didn't determine in this life. So those are determined from before. And then there are things like the social, our social status, our social conditions and economic conditions. These obviously we can also, we can kind of control, okay? So those are kind of determined by what we do in this life, of course, whether we learn and we work hard, but there's also a karmic aspect to that, in that some things like fortune, things like that are you can say that it's predetermined. So how much fortune we're going to have in this life, what kind of life we're going to have, is basically determined by previous or karma from past lives. Okay, so those we can, some people, we keep trying to hit the lottery, right? Try to get those millions of dollars, but if it's not in our the predetermined fortune, we're not going to get it. It's just, no matter how hard we try. And then some people, they just hit it right away, because that was predetermined already from previous lives. Okay, so so that, if we have a very short-term view, we just look at this life, then it's like, yeah, we see, well, that's, it's luck, or it's not fair. But if we broaden the view, look at past lives, karma, then it kind of makes sense. All right. So, all right. And then there are circumstances. Yeah, we talk about good luck, bad luck. Good luck, bad luck. There is, I guess you can say, a certain. There's a certain amount of that, but most things there's a reason for something happening. Okay, it's not everything. It's not random. It's not just good luck, bad luck. Okay, obviously our actions, our mindset, that will affect things as well. So if we're always positive, right? You can say that good things can happen to us. If we're always negative, we tend to attract the negative things happening to us. So I think maybe everyone probably has some kind of experience in those areas. Also, finally, the acquired knowledge and skills. Okay, so our own learning, we can learn a skill, learn some things, some knowledge, and that can help us in this life. So really, the only thing that we can really try to control, have control over in our lives is that last one. The learning, the acquiring the knowledge and skills, and obviously putting in effort. Okay, those are things that we can control. Everything else are kind of like the circumstances, the conditions that are almost beyond our control. Okay, but as a cultivator, after receiving the Tao cultivator, we can actually change things. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. All right. So this law of causality, right? The law of causality, it's a fundamental law of nature. There's, it doesn't matter, we're here on Earth, we talk about it, but, in the physical nature, in the physical universe, we all know about law of causality. Okay, so that's what, physics and all these sciences are kind of based on that. But it also applies to our, you can say our soul or our true nature. Okay, so basically every action has a consequence. All right. So it also means that we are all held accountable for our actions. All right. So it's not like, oh, I can just, I can do whatever I want, and then I can believe in some divine being or believe in someone, and then that absolves me of all my, sins and guilt. We're still gonna meet with some consequences. Okay, so we have to do things to overcome. We either fulfill those consequences, either receive the punishment, or we can try to do things, make up for it. Okay, now we cannot always make up for something that we did. Okay, so that's not always possible, but certainly we can always do good deeds, be a benefit to others, and to try to make up for that. All right. Okay, so that's the same thing as saying what goes around comes around, or whatever seed you plant, that you get the fruit or result. Okay, so the causes. Okay, so what we call this karmic consequence or karmic destiny or predestiny, it comes from these causes and conditions. Okay, so the causes are when like we plant the seed. Okay, so that's like the cause. Now the conditions. So just planting this, putting the seed in the ground is not enough, right? So sometimes, yeah, it's okay. Leave it to nature, and maybe it'll grow. But usually we have to the conditions have to be right. Okay, so maybe get enough sunlight, get enough water, right? It's not too cold. Those are the conditions. Okay, so we have the preconditions, which are the cause, and they may happen in a previous life. So if we're looking at our lives, we see things happening in this world. There are a lot of the causes we don't see. Okay, because those have happened before. Of course, in nature, we can see, because we have the advantage of looking at history and recorded history. Okay, so we can look back and say, oh, just like what's happening now with global warming. Okay, global warming. There's still people saying, oh, is it caused by, who caused it, right? It could be a natural cycle. There are definitely natural cycles. Okay, but it would be foolish to say that humans' activity does not contribute anything to whatever is happening. Okay, so yeah, maybe we're in a warming cycle, but human activity is definitely making it go to extreme. Okay, so more than what it would normally go. So anyways, but we can look at history to see that change and that we really causing that. Okay, and then finally we've seen the effects of it. Okay, all right. So karma. You can say there's perceivable karma, latent karma, and future karma. Perceivable is sometimes you call that instant karma. We do something or something, and then we see the immediate consequence or immediate effect of it. All right. But some are latent. So in other words, the consequence doesn't appear until later on, and it could be later on in this life, probably. And then future is kind of more longer term. So the consequence does not happen until future lifetimes. Okay, not in this lifetime. It may happen in future. So for example, if maybe let's say I steal something, or even worse, I kill someone, and it's an unsolved crime. Okay, never get caught. Well, even if you do get caught, right? There's the human laws, right? And 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 the human that we serve out the sentencing and punishment, whatever. But that's separate from the karma. Okay, so we still created that karma, and despite the fact that maybe we were caught and we went to jail, served our time, we still have to pay back that karmic debt. There's a karmic debt to that person, okay, or whoever that we did unjust, some wrongdoing. And that's because that person, or it could be an animal actually, any living being, they have that Buddha nature, so they will want payback. Okay, so and that could happen in some future lifetime. Okay, because the problem is karma gets very complicated because it's not just every action is creating some karma, and so everyone has lots of different karma, planting all these seeds, and so how they interact in the future. That's just no way to clearly distinguish. Okay, but anyways, so some things will happen in a future time. All right, and then there's what we consider wholesome and unwholesome, or good and bad karma. Obviously, karma really doesn't care. There's no there's no good and bad. It's just it's just a neutral law. But this is how we talk about it, because as humans we talk about good and bad. So obviously we do good things, we plant a good seed, then we get a good fruit, get a good result. If we do bad things, bad deeds, we commit crimes, then we're going to get essentially punishment. Okay, that's what it is. All right. Then there's also individual and collective karma. Right. So we obviously most things we do as our individual. We make our own choices, decisions, and we have the resulting karma from that. But if we act as a group of people, let's say we're part of a gang, then they're going to create collective karma, right? Even though maybe it's only one gang member, he goes kill someone, but you're working as a gang, as together, then everyone in that gang will have that collective karma, okay, that they're going to all have to pay back together. And so when we see disasters that happen to a group of people, like a plane crash or a big earthquake, flooding, a lot of people die all at once. That's usually almost for certain that's collective karma. Okay, because that group of people, I mean, it could be all strangers in this life, but in some previous life, they were acting as a group, doing something, and it obviously would have to be some pretty awful thing. So, but usually it's probably like war. During war, okay, you're invading another country and killing a lot of people. That creates a lot of collective karma with all those, basically they'd all be soldiers for the most part, and so they'll suffer that consequence in some future time in like some kind of big disaster. All right, so that's what collective karma is. All right, and let's see. Okay, now, yes.
I have a question. In the case of collective karma, I'm thinking, let's say a soldier maybe doesn't want to kill, but is ordered by the sergeant, and the sergeant got orders from the general, and the general got orders from the president. So if the soldier doesn't kill, probably he's going to be court-martialed and even could be shot to death because of not obeying orders.
Right.
But I guess the person who has the worst karma is probably the one who originally gave the order.
Yeah, you could say the one who's responsible, right?
Gets the karma of everybody.
Yeah.
The others are just pawns on a bigger game.
Yeah, that's true. Now, obviously, someone who doesn't want to kill, they can, at least in this country, we can kind of avoid, joining the conscientious objectors. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, if soldiers, maybe they don't want to kill, but they're forced to, or especially if if we're defending, okay, so if they're defending themselves, then that's maybe a little bit different. But if they're, going out massacring, civilians or things like that, right? It's like what's happened in some places, then that's definitely, severe collective karma there, all right? The difficulty about collective karma is that the whole group has to, they have to cultivate, okay, to make up for the past deeds. but they have to do it as a group. I mean, everyone in the group, and so that's very difficult because in this life we have no idea what group, part of what group we were in, before in previous lives. So that makes it very difficult to escape collective karma. Now, as a Tao cultivator, though, we can still kind of maybe reduce the effects of that. So maybe we were part of some collective karma in previous life, but if we're cultivating and we perform a lot of good deeds, that can still help us overcome that. All right. But for most people, it's almost impossible to escape that kind of karma. All right. But individual karma, of course, we're kind of more in control, right? Because we did it ourselves, and then we can make up for that ourselves. But as the group, collective karma is more difficult. All right. So, all right. Let's see. Yeah, so it's example. It's like individual karma is like you have a small boat and you want to change direction. It's easy, but then a collective karma is like a large boat, like a cruise ship, right? It's hard to change directions, right? Real fast.
So for people who follow the Tao, better not to join any army.
I mean,
But if you get drafted, do you have a choice?
But in this case, yeah, Randall, you're right, because you're the soldier. You have a duty to perform.
Right.
That's your job. Okay, you got order from the top. So it's different from, I remember we said about there's one general all day. And here, because there was one group of people, right? One person committed a crime, but he killed, because this person who committed crime is a rape. So, but there's a team there. So it's one person committed crime, he killed all team together. So it's all 10 people, they kill whole team together. So they don't, all the other 9 spirits chase this general, the spirits of general, remember I said it before, all the time for future life, all the lifetime. And then this general used to be the monk, cultivate, so they couldn't touch him at the time. Until one day, this general, the spirit, he become a monk. So he's always in the temple but cultivate himself. So those 9 spirits who got killed did not have the opportunity to approach him. But one day this monk, right, the monk was the reborn of the general. The monk, he went to outside street, right? But he smelled something. People have a chicken, the prepared food. He smelled it. He touched, his mind started to get away. He said, it smells so good. Then those 9 spirits got an opportunity to hurt him. Okay? So later on, then those 9 spirits put a stamp on his body. Okay? So every time he saw very itchy, so painful. So they don't ask him that he asked forgiveness of these 9 spirits. This 9 spirits really forgive him later on because he repented. This monk repented later on. But those they can chase after lifetime, so many lives. But with a soldier situation, because you are just doing your job, so it's different.
But if you refuse to join the army, it's better. And I think if the parents, the children, that's something bad. Probably they don't feel like joining the army. I remember when my son was young, a teenager and approaching 18, there was a war going on because there's always wars going on here. So at that time there was a draft, and I always used to talk bad about war, that this is just a racket. But I thought that if he was draft, I will take him out of the country with some trick that he doesn't go to kill anybody or get killed.
Yeah.
We turn around, right? Look at this world. We went to Vietnam for kill a lot of people, a lot of soldiers died,
4
right?
million people.
Yeah, and look what happened. We are doing business with the Vietnamese government right now.
Yeah, so ironic, right?
Things change.
Yeah. Right? All these, those
Very
people
ironic.
killed for the country.
Yeah, so those people died for nothing.
Yeah, for
Basically, that's what it means.
USA,
That's
right?
what it means. 30 years later,
So many
they died for
soldiers
nothing.
were killed at the moment. But now we are running business with the
Too
government.
short-sighted.
If you were born 30 years later,
You
you
would have
lucked
missed
out.
it.
If
Yeah.
you were born
I'm
30
sorry
years
for
ago,
those
you
people
go to
who
the
died,
draft.
soldiers
Right,
who died.
unfortunate.
See, that's life. You know, I mean, that's so complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Adam, one thing is this though. Their karma is also, you can say, heavy. There's heavy and light karma too. You can say, that's wholesome, unwholesome, collected, or heavy,
severe,
light, severe, or they call it severe karma, right? In society, if you have more, let's say, power, more position, status, whatever you do the consequences are heavier, are much lighter. So if you're a peon, like you said, you're a foot soldier, yeah, whatever you do under, in let's say in war or whatever, under that chain of command, your consequence will be not as severe as the leader, the top guy who ordered everything. So like G.W. Bush, okay, little Bush, right, Bush Jr., right, he ordered, invasion of Iraq. So whatever the consequence, whatever, he bears the most because he's the president.
He made
And then vice president and on down the line. So your little peon, yeah, you kill a bunch of Iraqi civilians, okay, yeah, you face those karma, but it's not as severe as, let's say, Bush. In this example, we're using an example, using this example, because he's the president. He ordered the invasion. Right? Nobody else ordered, he did, right? So his karma is tremendous, that he's going to have to bear in the future. And the only way to offset that is merit.
How much merit do you need?
Merit, virtuous merit, not just regular merit, not just donating money. Oh, I give money to the Iraqi refugees or to the Shias or Sunnis or whatever. No, it has to be virtuous merit. Virtuous merit. Period. No and or if buts. Okay, that's the distinction.
One time, Saint Buddha always said, even teachers said, one lifetime you become governor official. 9 lifetime you will become a cow.
Yeah.
9 lifetime will make up 一世关94年。
Big concept.
So just what they cows. Yeah.
No,
just cows.
that's also why in ancient China, we all read the story of the 8 immortals, right? The 7,000 masters. They all became enlightened. They were all very well educated. They're not stupid. They're smart people. They are worthy to become court officials, ministers, but they all declined. Why? One reason. There are many reasons, but one reason is because of karma. They know that if they become a court official, a minister, whatever they do, their karma will be heavy, will be severe, will be stronger. No, it's true.
Especially you made a mistake.
Yeah, yeah. I'm obviously talking about negative. Obviously, the negative side. Obviously, there's a good side too.
Yeah.
There's good side too. There's good side too. If let's say you have a disaster, natural disaster, the president, didn't sleep, but 24/7. He's at the scene. He's directing. He's getting people, getting aid, doing FEMA, whatever. I don't know. Then that's good karma. Then he has good credit. Big credit. He has big credit because he's the president. You see what I'm trying to say? So there's a difference. Okay?
Is there a way the good credit can pay off the bad credit?
Yeah. Virtuous merit. It has to be virtuous merit. Virtuous credit. That's it. That's it.
You want more
Right.
good credit.
So,
than big karma, right?
Yeah, like if disasters or whatever. Whatever. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why a lot of the saints and Buddha today use Han, immoral Han.
Yeah.
He used to be the governor
Yeah,
officials,
they didn't
right?
want it.
They
Didn't want it.
didn't want it. They just went to the cultivation,
because
the
they
path
know
they
the
own.
karma
They
will be
used to
heavy.
be the government officials.
So that
Even
higher
though
position
we have a
you
king,
go, better
right?
be watch
He just
out.
like
Better watch
Buddha.
out.
He was a king, right? He could be a king. He was prince. He was to be the king in the future. He didn't want it.
Well, yeah, but his is not because of karma. It's because he wants to.
But he didn't want it. He wanted
He
cultivate.
wants to transcend samsara,
Avoid
right.
reincarnation.
But that's even higher goal, of course. One is to avoid karma, the other one is, or negative karma is to, to transcend samsara.
Yeah. Okay. And then so another consequence of karma is the transmigration of the soul, reincarnation. All right. So there's it's not like a one-way street. Things where things happen linearly. So it's like we don't after we die, then some beliefs you go to one place or you go to the other place and you stay there for eternity. Everything is happening in a cycle. So it's cyclic, and therefore our lives get recycled essentially, come back again. And that it fits in very well. That makes sense when we talk about law of causality, the cause and effect. That when you plant the seed, it's gonna get a result later on. Okay, so let's talk about this transmigration of the soul.
Take one
Yeah.
minute here. even, okay, for example, we cultivate. One day we have to leave this world, right? We have to go, right? We all have to go one day, right? But we might have to come back. When we come back, we want it because we make the Buddha vow coming down again. We want to help the living being. We don't want to come back because we have a bad karma in ourselves. There are too much bad karma, so we have no choice to come down. But we come down, we want to be like Qigong Buddha. He reincarnate, become the other Buddha. Okay? So you want to come down as a Buddha. You, in their choice, in the Buddha choice, they can go to say, okay, I want to reincarnate which family. They have a choice. I think their friend Anne, yeah, okay. She was the gene transmitter's sister, older sister. Then last time we know she was ablated by the gene senior transmitter. Then, but they know this time, I think 2 years ago when we reunited with her, she said that we heard that she went to reincarnate in China. Okay, but at that moment, when she came back from heaven, you can select the family who could have family temple or who could receive Tao. You want to receive Tao, continue the cultivation. So they have better choice. Now, whoever people don't have a good credit may not have a choice. Just come down, and it just could be any family. Could be in Africa. Could be anything. So they may not have a choice. But when Buddha came down, they usually select a family to reborn. So that's a little different.
Yeah. So yeah, in that case, right. I mean, you have a choice, so you're choosing the conditions in which you're born. But most people, we don't have that choice. I mean, if we have that karmic debts that we have to pay back, then we're going to be born in whatever conditions, determined by that karma. Right. So okay. So for most people, for us, we live in this earthly realm, right? The earth, the world. That's where we will most likely reincarnate again in this world, okay, as whether it's a human being or an animal, okay. But this also includes, there are there are ghosts, wandering spirits, okay, hungry ghosts, whatever. That's also within this realm. I mean, they're just in a different, you can say plane. They maybe a different dimension if you want to think of it, but they're among us. We don't see them, but they're also in this world, okay, in a kind of a spiritual realm. This is what we call samsara, is the cycle of life and death and suffering. Okay, now for those who are like, they exhibit certain virtues in their life. Okay, they've done some great deeds, virtuous deeds in their life, but if they have not received the three treasures, they end up in what we call celestial heaven, which is kind of a celestial realm, which is a temporary heaven. So they can be there for hundreds or maybe a few thousands of years. But when the time is up, they have to return. They come back, reincarnate again. All right. And then, of course, if someone then does some really evil deeds, then they end up in the underworld. In the underworld, of course, it's all suffering. Okay, in the celestial realm, you can say there's enjoyment, enjoyment, I guess, and even but in the underworld, it's pure suffering. All right. And actually, in Earth, you can say we have both. We have enjoyment and suffering. Okay, but in the underworld, it's pure suffering. But then again, it's not eternal there either. I mean, they go and basically serve out their sentencing, if you will, and then come back. Now, where we want to go is the absolute realm, okay, and that's beyond this cycle of life and death, and that's where the Buddhas are. That's where we originally came from, anyways. All right, so how do we get there is by receiving the Tao. Okay, so we receive the Tao. We have the three treasures. Or you can be truly enlightened like the Buddha was. Okay, he was enlightened, and then all he needed was, you can say, confirmation from another Buddha, enlightened being for him to go there. Obviously, also to go there, we need to have, besides three treasures, we have to be virtuous. Okay, we work on our virtues. This is part of cultivation, practice, our virtues and the merits. Okay, so again, it's not that, oh, we do treasures and then, we don't do anything and we go to heaven. Yeah, we can't stay there. Okay, we'll just be there visiting for a short time before we come back. So whether we stay there a long time, stay there or not, is if we have virtue and merit. Okay, so those are the things that we have to do. And then so like this guy here, let's see. So like this monk, right? This is a Buddhist monk, right? So he 200-plus-year-old monk. Now obviously he's a cultivator, but he can actually leave, you can say his spirit. He can leave his body. Okay, he can go. I don't know what he can travel, right, in the spiritual realm. Now he went up towards heaven, I guess, and now at heaven, of course, you can't get in unless you have the three treasures. And so when he got there, say, well, you can't get in. You're not. I mean, first, he's not enlightened either.
There's a guard there.
Yeah, he's
right?
not truly enlightened.
Yeah, general.
There's yeah, they have guardians up there that protect, but. So only those who are, have the three treasures or are truly enlightened, like Buddhas, they can enter. But so he couldn't enter, and they said, well, you have to have the three treasures, and so you have to go back and for that opportunity. Okay, so he did. He waited 100 years. I mean, when he was 100 years old, he went up there.
123.
123 when he visited.
He looks so good for his age. He looked like he's 70 years
Yeah,
old.
it's not bad.
33 at that time.
This
He
pic-
was,
Yeah.
at that time, he was 233. That's 238.
He looks
Yeah, I
better
can't
than
believe it,
us.
man. He's a Thai monk. Thai
He's,
Buddhist monk. Well, they cultivate. because
Yeah, that's a very good cultivation.
They meditate so
Yeah.
they can.
And also vegetarian.
Yeah, he's
Well,
vegetarian.
obviously, yeah.
Mostly, he's definitely-
So he eventually did receive the. Yeah, I think 238. And
Yeah, he's
when
a-
did this
he's
picture?
A Thai monk, Thai Buddhist
Yeah.
monk.
He's not 238.
Well, now I don't know. I mean now.
How old
He
is
died
he
at
now?
243.
Oh, he died
Oh, he
243,
died. Well, how old?
243.
243.
Oh my God, he must be the longest living
Yeah.
human
Most
being.
people are
Well,
like, whoa.
in recent, no,
Ever.
no, in ancient history they lived almost
Well,
1,000
this is
years.
in old days.
Yeah.
I mean,
Today,
today.
Went back
Wow.
The modern
I don't know. There's a story on the sidewalk.
That's a long
They didn't say which year.
Ah.
But it's not too long ago.
Yeah.
Just years ago.
Okay, so
118, I think, right? A lady, yeah, a
Yeah,
woman.
but he's
Uh,
200
so
something.
now the other ways
241?
okay, so normally only as a human being, right, for us to encounter the Tao, to receive the Tao, to receive the three treasures, then as a human being we can return. Yeah, animals cannot, okay? So animals, you can say that they're serving out their karmic, destiny, and then once that's fulfilled, they come back as a human, and hopefully they'll encounter the Tao and receive the Tao, and then they can also go to Absolute. So that's really the only way. There are only those two ways to go to, is to have the three treasures and to be truly enlightened, okay? Okay, now, but we're now in this white era, okay, this white period where it's the universal salvation, or the salvation of the three realms. The three realms are the human, not just the human realm, but the celestial, the spiritual realm, and the realm of the underworld. Okay, so those spirits also be what we call uplifted, right? But they can only be usually be uplifted by like a family member, like a son or daughter, okay, that can uplift maybe the parent. Now some more virtuous and having a lot of merit, some people can maybe uplift a diva that's in the celestial realm, or some other, that may not be related to them directly. All right.
Usually the great predecessors,
Yeah,
especially
or maybe a patriarch. They
yeah,
can
they
do
are
that.
Special,
They're special.
transmitters.
Yeah.
It's not normal.
For most of us, we can only do for our parents. Yeah, because when we do that uplifting, we have to take on their karmic debts, right? Because they're not alive anymore, and so we have to take on their karmic debts, and therefore we need a lot of merit and virtue to overcome that. And we have members here who've been uplifted the parents, and then they've had an accident or something because of the karmic debts from who they uplifted. Okay. Yeah.
That's a very interesting piece of
question.
information.
Yeah.
So we need to do a lot of merits, particularly the first 3 years that we get a break.
Yeah.
Well,
That
yeah.
way, when after the 3 years come,
You're
and we
very
have,
wise.
we have
You're
our
pretty good.
family,
Wise
and
man.
we don't get a lot of diseases or anything.
Yeah. Usually when we receive down, right, our holy teacher would block our bad karma for 2 to 3 years. Usually give us some kind of grace period. You know what I mean? Right? Then in those periods, we better
Earn as much as
work
we can.
hard,
Yeah.
accumulate enough merits. After 2-3 years later, the Qigong Buddha return all the bad karma back to us. So at that time, we hope we have enough good credit to offset the bad karma. So we, but they always help us. But in the meantime, they return it. So usually, if we have a grace period and a short period of time,
I need to work harder.
and we have been working pretty hard.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good. But that's why very critical when people receive Tao, we try to do good things. It's not just come to temple to help, to when people receive, even doing the regular, sometimes see people on the street need help, we can help them. A little thing, help every day. Yeah. So that's the little merits we can correct every day, and more the better. Yeah.
What if you received down your baby?
Usually,
My grace period was over.
Yeah.
over quickly, we don't even know. Huh? That's true.
No, but actually, if you receive Tao as a baby, then you're already pretty, blessed. I mean, you probably don't have very much bad karma.
Especially this lifetime, we may not make enough big credit, great karma. But the key here is previous life. We don't know about our previous life.
Yeah.
You know our immortal her.
Reese?
Yeah.
Oh,
This
yeah.
lifetime, she was in California Dharma class just 2 weeks ago. You know what she said? She said in previous life, the previous life. So all the all those the new members, they have a good karma together. They all together. She reminded, said they were together. So not the previous life, maybe the previous life. She said they are all together. That's why she came down in California Dharma class. That's because they
I have a question.
get
Can
good
you,
affinity.
can you receive the Tao
Yeah.
more than once in your lifetime?
Well, there's no need.
There's no need unless you forget where you received the Tao or the three treasure.
So you get a little
Oh, you.
To somebody.
I see what you're asking.
Somebody.
He wants to start the clock over, starting.
Yeah. Some people receive Tao.
He wants to start
Yeah,
over
this
with
is a very
the
good
3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I say
Yes,
in Chinese
yes.
class, people receive Tao today. Then they went to the church. They got baptized, right? Right?
Oh.
Right? Then or they go to the Buddha temple, right? Then converted to Buddhism. But they don't. Then that means when they receive Tao, it doesn't count anymore. Okay? Even transmitter, I said in class today. Even transmitter, if transmitter do that, transmitter lost his mandate too. It happened to some Tao members in Dharma class. So in one Dharma class, our Holy Qigong teacher channeled it in the Dharma class, and he saw some members in the first treasury area are very dark. So Holy teacher said those people did not receive Tao. And the Holy teacher said, he propagated Tao, so those people received Tao. Then they find out this transmitter, he went to the church. He tried to bring the church member to receive Tao, right? And he was baptized in the church.
It's like a trade-off, right?
Trade-off.
In order to
So he lost
win
the mandate.
people to
So
the
after
Tao.
that, he propagated Tao, right, for those members. It doesn't count. So that's interesting. So when we receive Tao, we go to church, baptized at the church or somebody, priest, then we lost the mandate. So you have to receive Tao again. That's why he said receive twice, 3 times. That might happen.
That's why you're already in the source. No need to search in other area of religion. You already found the root. Okay.
Okay, so we left off talk about uplifting, right? We just talked about uplifting. There's, I'm going to show you. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll come back. All right. So these are the 6 paths of reincarnation, okay, that Buddha talks about. You have the upper and the lower, the 3 and 3, okay. So the upper path basically, if we've done things, according to those 10 wholesome deeds, okay, which I'll mention, talk about in a bit. But the first is what we call the diva. We might call it like a saint or a deity, okay. So they are in that celestial realm, okay. They are
神仙应该是叫神仙，不是 saint。saint 的话就像大仙，仙是里边的大仙。
The diva, celestial
Yeah,
being.
that's it. Yeah.
Diva.
Yeah,
Divas.
that's better. saint 的话就像你妈妈是 saint。
Yeah, no, 不能讲 saint.
对
Diva.
，saint 你妈妈就是 saint。
saint.
Yeah，她是
Well,
大仙啊，
saint represents
大仙啊，
李天,
里边的大仙。
absolute
对，你妈
heaven.
妈就算大仙，就算 saint。
Divas and you
Yeah.
could say
不一样。
celestial beings are
不一样。
considered temporal heaven.
Yeah, temporary. Yeah,
Yeah.
temple heaven.
All
Yeah.
right.
所以有点不一样。Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so yeah, those are, again, I mentioned, people who have not received, have the 3 treasures, they aren't enlightened, they've done good deeds, more, probably a lot of good deeds, more than any bad deeds, and so they end up in that celestial realm, heaven, where they can enjoy, you can say, enjoy that time, a few hundred years to maybe a few thousand, okay? Now, for most of us who's just to come back as a human, right? Besides, having performed like the 10 wholesome deeds, we do practice the 5 precepts. Actually, let me show you what the 10 wholesome deeds are. Okay.
Oh, yeah, there.
So these are 10 wholesome good deeds. All right. So no killing, no stealing,
Well,
no adultery or lust, sexual misconduct, no false speech. I mean, eventually, this is like
3 of the mind, 4 of words, and 3 of the body.
yeah,
That's what it is.
Yeah, the first
10 goodwill
yeah,
measures.
Yeah, the
Called
first
10 goodwill measures.
3 of the mind,
Yeah,
4
three.
of what?
The first 3 are of the body. Okay,
Right.
the next 4 are from
Mouth.
from our mouth, our speech,
And then the last 3 is of the mind.
and the last 3 are from essentially our heart, mind.
And the last 3 is the 3 poisons.
Yeah. So
Times and
right.
seasons.
So no
number 9应该是比较 anger。
anger,
Yeah,
well,
it's
hatred,
anger,
resentment, anger.
anger,
Yeah.
anger. Rage and
Yeah.
anger.
And then so, yeah. So we so avoid doing any these things. These
So
are
the 10 goodwill measures.
yeah. I mean it's yeah. I mean these are not doing these things. So
Well, these are the opposite.
Yeah,
the
of the
actual
other.
is if you take out the no.
Yeah, basically.
It's the 10 taboos.
Or the
Those are the 10
unwholesome,
taboos.
yeah.
Right, 10 taboos, 10 no-nos.
right. That
Okay?
I'll mention
And then
afterwards.
you add no to it.
Well, these are
becomes
different.
The 10
Okay,
goodwill
sorry.
measures. This is
Okay, wait.
Buddhism, all right?
All right. So, anyways, back to but as a human being, to come back as a human being, we really practice the 5 precepts as well. 5 precepts, right? That we talked about in the previous class too. 5 precepts is no killing or harming living beings, no stealing, no false. So this is kind of a subset, except for that last one. No sexual misconduct, and then no intoxicate. We don't drink alcohol or take drugs because that's your mind actions, right? So those are 5 precepts. We have to practice those to be able to come back as a human being next life, right? Okay, so all right.
Even just quick one note now. When those kind of stuff, right? Even when we pass away one day, we have to go through the 3 big gate, go through those tests again. Okay, 三关九口. Yeah, the tests will be there for us. So we have to make sure we pass those stuff. 九口, yeah. Yeah, when we go back to heaven, that's the person we have to go through step by step, gate by gate.
How do you translate 三关九口?
So 3
gates.
3 gates.
3 gates.
9
Opening.
Yeah, 9
Small
openings.
opening.
Yeah, 9 portals.
9 portals.
3 gates, 9 portals.
Yeah, basically it's to. I mean, when we go back to
Test.
heaven, yeah, it's like a test. I mean, we have to
Be
see that
careful.
we've gotten rid of all our attachments, desires, things like that. All right. All right. So then the third path of reincarnation, right, is Asura. Asura is what sometimes we call like a demon. Okay. But basically, they were kind of cultivators, so they were practicing like the 10 wholesome deeds. But maybe they didn't do it, diligently, just casually. They perform charity, but they have anger. Okay, they have some kind of anger, impatience, envy, arrogance, any of these. Okay, so once if you have any of these, then we can be reborn as a asura. Asura is not, okay, they can be in the celestial realm, in the spiritual realm, but they can be also in this living, they can be human asura or animal asura as well. Okay, so they can be in these various realms. It doesn't matter. It's not like a particular place that they can be. It's just because they've, it's their, you can say it's almost like an attitude, right? That what's in their heart and mind. Okay.
Sure, usually they have big,
Rage.
big.
Well, either anger, it could be
big
arrogance too.
Yeah, yeah, no.
No, not that big, not that big, not that
No,
big.
no,
It's-
Usually they have a big marriage.
No, they have some.
Ashura one.
Not as big as Bodhisattva.
Oh, no, no,
obviously.
no, no, but I'm talking
but
about-
equal to like a diva, but
Yeah.
but
They're
they
arrogant.
still have
Arrogant.
That
yeah,
attachment.
rage, arrogance, or
Yeah.
some kind of attachment, some kind
Yeah.
of attachment.
That's why
it
they
could be
can
lust
have-
too. It could be lust.
Yeah.
It could be desire. It could be anything.
But usually it's like anger
Yeah,
or
usually,
arrogance
usually,
or
yeah.
envy.
Yeah,
You know,
usually-
envy.
Yeah.
These things.
Oh, we better not get
But
angry.
Ashura,
Yeah, be careful.
No, but Ashura exists in temple.
No,
in the
only in
temple.
temporal.
Anywhere, anywhere. They can be
Even
anywhere.
Temple member could be.
No,
they could be
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Become an ashura.
Yeah,
They
could be
could
there.
exist among animals too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is they could send God to send someone to come to test us.
Yeah, yeah,
Make-
Asura,
They want
images in
to
Asura.
correct all the members in their team. Okay.
Asura gets married.
Yeah. They are mission to do.
By misleading
They are
guidance,
mission.
you know that.
So they want to come down to correct their members. Want us to be part of their teams. So we have to be
That's like
careful.
Mara.
When we get upset, when we are in temple, we get upset, angry. At that moment,
Be careful. You are
we are there
Asura.
already.
You are Asura.
We are Ashura already.
Be careful.
At that moment, we are Ashura. already.
Yeah. Scary, huh?
So that's why we be careful.
Yeah.
We don't want to
So-
be a demon.
Yeah.
We want to be a little angel.
Why you say charity? It doesn't have to be charity.
No, generally that's what they.
Oh.
Most people they perform charity.
Yeah,
so
that's
most
right,
people
that's
can
right.
become asuras if
Yeah.
they're angry. You know, they have all that stuff. But
So if you're charitable but you have anger, you
yeah.
can become an Asura.
Yeah, right.
Right.
yeah.
Or the person didn't follow all the temple regulation. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're a cultivator, then you know,
cultivator.
then you know, if you don't follow those things, and then you know, still get angry, or you know, you're envious or arrogant, you know, or you think I know everything, then
Yeah.
that's yeah. So we have to be careful. Now the lower path is, of course, it's the worst. They've performed the 10 unwholesome deeds.
Right.
Okay, so those are
The first 10.
basically almost the opposite of what
Yeah, the 10,
oops, sorry.
the 10 taboos, right?
Oops.
Killing, stealing.
Oh, sorry.
Well, what's the first three is the body, right?
Sorry.
Killing, stealing,
Lost my place.
yeah, sexual misconduct, and then lying, flattery, flattery. It's 4.
Okay, so
It's
killing,
4.
stealing,
Lying, flattery,
sexual
slander,
misconduct,
that's it, slander.
and then false
And
or
harsh
deceptive
language.
speech,
Yeah.
slander, coarse, foul, harsh language, you know, empty talk.
Well, 4 is really lying. That's what lying is.
Yeah, that
That's
is
what
part of lying is
Deceptive,
part
yeah,
of it.
yeah,
Lying
yeah,
is
yeah,
part
lying
of
is
it.
more specific.
Yeah, you know, but yeah, there's it's a little bit different from the other one.
talk is like
There's
gossip.
envy here.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's a
yeah.
little bit different from the other one. And angry speech and views. Okay, wrong views is it's like, you know, you don't accept the truth, or you know, I
Well,
mean,
See everything wrong.
yeah, you have
yeah.
you know, false
Yeah, it's-
or
It's
illusional
really
delusional
a special
views
case
of
of
things.
delusion.
Yeah.
It's a special case of delusion, right? Because you say, you know, the unwholesome, I mean, the wholesome is no delusion, remember, right? No delusion.
No fool, yeah, no ignorance.
No
yeah,
ignorance, yeah, delusion, ignorance, right? Ignorance leads to delusion,
Mm-hmm.
right? So wrong view, you could say, is like ignorance. You can say, I mean, it's a specific case. It's
Yeah.
more narrow, right? Wrong, it's more narrow.
Yeah, right.
It's like
that's-
if you are like say in denial. You're in denial. You know the truth, but you don't face it. You don't face it. So that's a wrong view. You're in denial. If you're in denial, that's a wrong view.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So be careful.
Or yeah, okay. So that's all right. And then okay. So that's cause for being reborn in these lower paths. So the animal path, right? You know, there are various different being born from a womb. So like a mammal, being born from an egg, being born in the water. So you know, aquatic animals, and then or being born as an insect. Insect is worse because you're kind of dispersed among many, you know, hundreds or thousands of little insects. Okay, but so to be born as an animal, we maintain false views. We have ignorance, foolishness, all these things. All right. There's also then what we call this preta or preta, which is a hungry ghost. Okay, hungry spirit. These are because they have greed or they're wasteful. They cannot get. So in this incarnation, then they cannot be satisfied their hunger or satisfy their desires, right?
So don't be wasteful.
Yeah.
Especially in the U.S. Right?
Yeah.
We're
So this is something that we're gonna avoid. And so there's obviously there's a lot of suffering in these paths, and then hell is it's constant suffering. Okay. Now for those who
and there's different levels in hell too.
the different types of depending on what we've done, but.
Is there more than 18 levels now?
No.
Well,
That's what they
But
I don't want to know. You go and find out.
Oh, thanks a lot. You're so evil.
He said you can become Buddha.
You're so evil.
Yeah, become a Buddha to go down there and
Go there
visit.
to find out and get everybody else.
Well, that's Stephen. That's not what he said.
Yeah.
Oh, be careful of your thoughts,
Yeah.
your mind.
Yeah. Okay. So now the suffering in hell. Okay. So let's we mentioned the uplifting, right? The uplifting in the underworld. So let's see here. We can uplift. Okay. So as a cultivator. Okay. So we receive the Tao and we cultivate. Then our deceased parents, our ancestors, deceased, maybe if they're in the underworld, they won't suffer as much. They don't, because they benefit from our cultivation and our merits and virtues. Okay, so they get to listen to the Buddha, the Siddhagarbha Buddha in the underworld, to listening to the Dharma, and so when they're listening to Dharma, they don't suffer.
That's right.
Okay, so they have a reprieve, if you will,
So can
of
they
suffering.
listen for it eternally, or only through only a period of time until they are
I don't know if it's
Descendants.
it's not continuous. I don't think.
I guess up until the descendants cultivate to it.
Well, if the descendants stop cultivating, they're not
Then
going to.
they can't listen.
But usually, I think, basically the descendants, they come to temple, right? They're listening to class, so the deceased ancestors can listen to class, the Dharma in the underworld too.
Right.
So yeah, it's better to come to the temple often, and obviously to cultivate the practice. Then, the deceased ancestors will benefit more and suffer less. Okay, and then one day they can be uplifted, perhaps. All right. Okay, so let's see. So that does it. Yeah. So those are the 6 main paths.
Yeah, hungry ghost is a special case.
Yeah, that's kind of a special one.
Like they're not in hell, but they're like in their own.
Well, they're in this
quote
world.
unquote hell. Yeah,
but
they're in quote, yeah.
they're in a spiritual
but
realm.
they're suffering though.
But obviously they cannot.
Never satiate their hunger.
Yeah.
They can never. You're always hungry.
Yeah.
You're always hungry. They can eat as much as they want, but they're still hungry.
Yeah, right.
So that's.
At least they don't
be
gain
careful.
weight.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you're still.
No,
You're still hungry.
Yeah, you always
hunger. So
suffer
so
from
you're
that.
still starving.
Yeah.
You're starving.
Like starving,
Even though
yeah.
you're eating as much as you can, but
What
you're
do they
still
eat?
starving.
What do they
Eh,
eat?
well,
Well,
whatever,
where
spiritual,
do you get
spiritual
spiritual food?
entities, whatever spiritual thing, spiritual food, whatever.
I don't know.
But you're still
Okay.
hungry.
Yeah.
So that's why, and the reason for suffering, people who suffer that is because they waste it in this lifetime. Let's say a lot of food. You're not living, in poverty. You have plenty of food, but you waste. You waste everything.
That's why do
You
not
waste.
throw anything away
You
unless
waste.
it's all rotted. Eh? If it's not rotted, you won't get sick. You gotta eat it, even though it doesn't taste good. You gotta eat it. Unless we want to become a hungry ghost.
But the other thing is also because once they become like that, because they have a very narrow throat,
Yeah,
they have a big stomach, okay?
Yeah,
so it
that's
couldn't,
true. That's true. Yeah, that's
Can't
true.
fill that stomach.
Yeah. They never could. Yeah.
So they suffer. They
Yeah.
all kind of suffer.
Even though they're
yeah.
not in hell, but
Yeah.
it's still a type of
Yeah.
suffering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
Yeah.
It's not, you want to
It's
eat it,
sad.
but
It's
you couldn't,
very,
you
yeah,
kind of
literally.
couldn't get eaten.
It's very pitiful. Very
It's,
pitiful.
a lot of things happen there.
Yeah, very pitiful.
There's also some cases of it that's not here. It's actually they're not reincarnation, but some people, let's say they're cultivating, right? Lecture, maybe they pass away, but then they don't go to heaven, they don't go to hell, they don't get reborn. They're like a spirit, wandering
Yeah,
spirit.
wondering. Yeah, there is that case. Yeah,
But
there
they're
is.
not hungry.
But they
Yeah.
no, they're not
But
a hungry
but
ghost.
They have no place to go.
They're nowhere. They're like no
Why?
home.
This one happened.
So what does one do to be in that state?
We had one.
Wow.
We had one lecturer. Exactly, it happened to the person, and then because he always
Between the cracks.
complain, yeah. But he doesn't belong to the heaven. He doesn't have the name in the
Yes,
hell.
he doesn't have. Yeah.
Right?
Well, he had the 3 treasures.
Yeah, we straight, but he couldn't go.
But he doesn't have.
Couldn't
never-
go back.
That's weird. 3
Oh.
treasures should allow you to go in.
No, but the time is not that he doesn't.
Well,
yeah.
it's a special case.
Yeah, that's a
because
special
it's only
case.
When,
What did he do?
Because of time. No.
Do you know why he couldn't go back? Do you know why he couldn't go back? Because our holy teacher said, because he always complained, okay? And then, because at that time, he complained all kind of stuff.
To himself or to other people?
All the parents, all the
Complains
family,
about
right?
Ah.
And then teacher said, you don't belong to there. You go there, you will complain again, even you go back to heaven,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So there's no place for you.
I better stop complaining.
Okay. So teacher said, no, you don't belong to there. It's not ready. He cannot go back. He receives 3 treasure. He got a right enlightenment, but he doesn't belong to there, right?
It's so like.
So the teacher said,
It sounds like
so
a
you know what happened to the person? He's a lecturer. Then he always complain, right? And later on, he didn't repent himself, okay? And he always still come. But teacher came to see her. I think it's her in the beginning. But later on, she didn't complain. She didn't really repent. So teacher didn't come to see her anymore. Didn't come to anymore. So, and then she started wondering why. Maybe she was wrong, right? She really repented, and teacher showed up. Our holy teacher showed up and take her back. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's very important as a cultivator, always repent. Always repent. Even we did, teacher did say this Dharma class, this in a different state at this time. It's every night, spend 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, lie down on the bed, thinking about what we have done all day today, what we have done on the day, which area we didn't do properly, which area we can improve. Whatever we say is not proper, so we should change that, we should improve that. Teachers ask us to do that every day now.
Have you been doing it every day?
Me, I lie down on the bed, I
You
fall
don't listen
asleep.
to the teacher.
But I try to do it in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you do it, Kurt?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, these guys don't
Okay.
listen to the teacher.
All right.
That's why teacher keep reminding us. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So those are the 6 paths. Obviously, we don't want as a person who received have the 3 treasures. We don't go into these 6 paths. Okay. So we return to the absolute heaven. All right. Okay. So now the Buddha, he talked about this cause and effect in the cause and effect sutra. So the Buddha said, right, because of karmic effects inherited from previous lives, some people are poor, some rich, and some miserable. There are 4 rules inseparable in obtaining happiness and prosperity for the next life. Okay, so if we're still going to be in the samsara, the cycle of life and death, this is what you have to do. So be filial to parents. That's number 1. To respect the Dharma and the cultivators, right? So respecting the Dharma, the teachings, the truth, right, the principles, and those who are cultivating. So obviously, do not disrupt them, do not cause problems for them. Let them cultivate, and to abstain from killing and set free the sentient beings. Okay, so even then, idea of not eating meat too, be vegetarian. Well, the last one, to abstain from eating meat and to be charitable. Okay, so these are the 4 things for most, this is for the common person.
Ordinary.
Common person. If they want to have a better life, then that's what they have to do. Okay. Obviously, for us, we should do these things too. All right.
3, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so you notice
One thing,
being
go back to
vegetarian is
previous one,
important.
Yeah, vegetarian's very
previous
important.
one,
Huh?
On the item
Go
number
back to
2,
the-
we
What?
previous no.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, number 2, we have to be careful that. For them, remember we said it before, you have to respect the Dharma, respect all this stuff. But then we have a painting with a Buddha there, or we have a statue with a Buddha there. If you broke it or it's damaged, we cannot just throw in the garbage can.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so those little things we have to remember.
Yeah.
that.
Do not throw anything
From the
that is from the temple or that has
Statue.
represents the
Represent.
Buddhas. Do not throw anything. If you break the statue, you pack it up, wrap it up in a bag or whatever, and you store it away. Do not throw broken statues in the garbage. Okay?
Painting too.
And paintings too.
Yeah, right. So it's not just, I mean, also respecting, the scriptures,
Yeah.
things
All
like that.
these
but,
that you take home
um,
from the temple, do not throw them in the garbage. All right? If you don't want to bring it home, you just tell us, I
Bring
do
back.
not want a copy. And then we don't waste paper, we don't waste the ink, we do not waste the person that's making the copies, their precious time. So we must let them know, I do not want a copy.
If we don't need it, just
And
bring
don't
back.
leave it on the
Just
table.
bring back. We can
And
put
do
it
not
back.
leave it on the table where we have to clean up after you. Okay?
Yeah, be more responsible.
Yeah.
Be more accountable, right?
It's all part
we're
of
all
the rules
adults,
and
right? We're not
regulations.
children, right? If you're children, you should go to that class.
No, it's just, no, what's it? It's just simple regulation. We want to make sure we don't, because all those with the Buddha name there, with the God's name there, we don't want to throw in garbage. We don't want to, right? So everywhere. We just want to protect that. So if we don't need it, we can put away, somebody can take it home. Yeah, so we can put it there.
So even the notes that we take, let's say 20 years from now you go to, oh, I don't need this. Do not throw in the garbage. You can rip it up and shred it in your machine.
Yeah.
Okay, but do not just throw it in the garbage. You think of what goes into the garbage. That's very disrespectful to heaven.
Yeah.
All right? In fact, it is better that we take notes. Because when we take notes,
Yeah.
we remember more.
Well, it's
We
active
used to all
learning.
take notes.
It's active learning versus
Yeah.
passive learning. Yeah? There's a
Mhm.
difference, right? Active learning, you learn more. Passive, you go in one year, go out the other year. Doesn't matter. That's why I don't like handouts, because handouts, people just chuck it away. Say, oh, I'll put it someplace, and that's it. That's why I think I prefer people to take notes.
I think from
Because
now
that's
on,
active.
those that
Active
want a
learning.
copy raise their hand. Those do not raise their hand. And then we're gonna have the PowerPoints there. We should all take notes, okay? This half of the table all take notes from the past.
The other thing, we can
Right?
have this
Did
stuff
you?
on the
Right,
Dropbox.
except him,
Just
except
in
him.
case somebody want to see that.
You take notes,
You
I
can go to
take
the
notes.
Dropbox.
Except
the,
him.
the ginger, the church. We have those in the Dropbox, right? No? Oh, okay.
No, Dropbox not for everyone.
Oh, okay. Not a good
Uh,
And you know, it's
No,
always good
this
to
goes
have
on
it.
our website.
Yeah. If you need if anyone need information, you can ask Ledger Jean. Yeah. He can send to you.
Well, I mean, because we have the recordings.
Yeah.
They go on the website, so sometimes the material will also be there too. Yeah.
If you want to listen to the class again, you can see the material. You can listen to the class again. Okay.
Okay. So yeah. So Buddha saying, I mean, being filial, that's very important, and also essentially being vegetarian too. So everyone should be vegetarian, not just cultivators, right?
Well, why is that?
What's the
Because
reason?
You don't create that karma. You don't want
Right,
to create that
right.
karma
Because you're killing a sentient being. See,
Yeah.
see, the problem is people don't
consider.
consider animals as sentient beings. That's the first barrier. That's the or fundamental barrier. Once you understand that, then you're saying, "Hey, I'm killing another human." Then that will make you stop. But unfortunately, we're brought up. We're brought up in society. Say, hey, animals are made to be eaten. Are created to be eaten by humans. So, God gave them to us to eat them. So that's the first wrong thing.
No,
That's the wrong view.
First wrong view.
Wrong view.
Okay.
Our teacher did mention in the Dharma class this year two main things. First thing, because we don't eat the meat, is healthier. Our body much healthier. So that's good for ourselves. Okay. Second thing, we cut the bad affinity with animals. So we don't have bad affinity with all animal anymore. So the two beautiful things we can have, especially health. It's good for our health.
Now remember,
But-
all animals,
Yeah.
Buddha nature is the same as ours, no difference. We all have the same Buddha nature. Okay? So that's why we do not kill them for food.
Yeah, try not.
Yeah, I mean, so Buddha, that's why Buddha, said, I mean, he looks at all life as being equals. I mean, if we can look at all life as equals and we respect all life, then there would be no killing. Okay, so the killing, the sages in the past, they all say, why is there war? Why is there all
Right,
these
yeah.
things happening? Because it's because of all that killing from creating that karma. We just don't see it.
Yeah, there's a
we-
Buddhist poem on that.
Yeah, we don't see it. So,
Yeah, but the
but-
teacher, the holy teacher did mention that in California this time, he said that even you see the Nepal's
yeah,
earthquake,
yeah.
that's because of karma there. Remember the earthquake a few weeks ago?
A couple of months ago, I guess. Yeah, a few months
A
ago.
month ago.
Yeah.
month ago.
Oh, a month ago
Our holy
in
teacher
May.
did mention again, said
Yeah,
because of
because
karma.
they slaughter a lot of ox or bull, whatever,
For their
thousands
festival.
of them for their,
Festival.
I don't know, some festival or something.
Yeah, some kind
You
of.
saw it, right?
Yeah, but they actually do
Yeah.
it.
It's like 10,000
What
for
about like
one.
Oh,
mosquito?
wow.
If a mosquito bites you and you just smash it.
Okay, now
If it's, yeah, that's a good question. I mean, okay, yeah.
Different views on it.
What?
That's
What?
very good
There's
question.
different views on it.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's
well,
no. It's if it's a reaction, unintentional thing, it's like just normally do that. But if you think, oh, I want to kill it, there's a little difference there. But it's subtle. But yeah, we generally try. But also mosquitoes, right? They can transmit diseases, right? So is it better that it's alive to sting someone else and spread disease, or you end it? Unfortunately, mosquitoes are one of those things, that is probably, for everyone's health, at least, and well-being, it's, you want to get rid of those. So.
Yeah, it's for malaria.
Yeah, I'm
whatever,
thinking,
yeah,
especially in
they-
some countries, right? Some
Yeah.
countries, they have those diseases.
Yeah.
But be careful because most of you heard the story of lecturer Chu and the mosquitoes, right?
Well, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Maybe someday I'll repeat
they
it,
they
so
have
running out of time.
mosquito or insect like that is their, I don't know, their spirit is dispersed, okay, among the whole, because when they're born, right, you have like, I don't know, thousands of eggs, or I don't know how many, so they're all part of that one, the one soul, if you will, I don't know, part of the one being, okay.
You can only be incarnate after all of them.
Yeah. So they all have, but yeah, I mean, we try to.
Yeah.
So it's very tough for them to be.
Yeah, it's tough for them to reincarnate because they all have to die and then.
So aren't
But
you helping them? And
yeah, you
But
can say.
one thing could come.
Yeah.
Good question here. I think come up with. Let me just give you what lecture Liu talk about it. The
Yeah.
Buddha nature God. So he lived in Busan, which is great predecessor live there.
Yeah.
So every time you see the mosquito, go to find great predecessor.
Right.
Go to look for great predecessor for the marriage.
So,
But
yeah.
did he really smash it?
Yeah.
Ah.
He said he asked for it because he lived in Busan, right? Great predecessor there, right? Said he killed, but if you want
The one in
someone
charge,
to pay back,
go-
you look for grand predecessor.
He's in
to pay
charge.
back.
Oh, he's so funny.
Yeah.
The grand princess have more merit, right?
Yeah.
A big grand. Okay, he said, go to buy him to pay you back. But later on here, he talked in the class. He said because from humankind point of view, he said we don't want this disease spread around. He says he willing to bury that karma, and then for others. So he did kill the mosquito, but he said he want to make sure he has enough merit to do it. So we have to make sure we have good merit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like in the ancient times, right? Those they had maybe animal sacrifices or whatever. I mean, as an offering, right?
Our founding
those who are very virtuous have a lot of merit, then they can do that. And the animal is actually benefits. They sacrifice their lives, but they benefit it because of the virtue of whoever is sacrificing them. So we have to have a lot of merit if we want to do that. But we don't want to maliciously say, oh, I want to go kill all these things. Yeah.
What I heard is that in ancient times there was knowledge to do the animal sacrifice certain people, but we have lost that knowledge in order to revive it immediately. There were some mantras that you could, particularly the horse, if they do a special sacrifice, they will revive it immediately. But that has been lost, so now that cannot be done.
Well, like Jigong living Buddha, right? I mean, maybe he ate dog meat or whatever, but then he can just bring it back to life. Okay, so that's a different story.
Because he's a Buddha.
But come back here. This is a good question. Yeah, Jigong. But on the TV we saw he mean the chicken leg or the stuff and drinking wine. He said no, he didn't do that.
It's just an illusion.
That's common myth.
Yeah. Even let's say this way. Even he can eat it. He can make them alive again.
He's a Buddha.
He can do that. So it's different.
Well, it's just like in Bible, Jesus. They never say Jesus ate fish or meat. Remember the five fish and 3 loaves or whatever. I don't know, whatever that story. He fed the people, thousands of people. I don't know, whatever. That's a famous story, right? But then never show him that he ate meat. Never mentioned. Never. You look anywhere in the Bible, nowhere mentioned. Well, it's kind of surprising, right? I mean, it's kind of, right? It's kind of surprising, right? It never mentioned that he ate fish.
Yeah, other stuff.
He didn't mention the Last Supper he ate bread, but he didn't mention Jesus ate fish or meat. It mentioned he ate bread, but never why. I mean, it makes you wonder, right? Kind of wonder why. Right? I mean, just because somebody forgot, the authors, the disciples just forgot to mention that he ate fish and meat. I mean, that's all. But they remember he ate bread, but he didn't eat meat. That's very interesting, right? It makes you wonder, right? You gotta think about that, right?
The other thing to be a vegetarian, also good things. You know why? Because teacher mentioned all over again. Because a lot of times we donate it or we do some good thing, try to correct good merits. However, we donate, for example, I'm making one example. If I donate $100, I'm making one example. Like we make a vegetarian vow, heaven, Buddha can receive a $100 credit. Like if I donate $100, but I'm not vegetarian, I didn't make a vow, heaven or Buddha only receive $50 only. Why? The $50 on the way to the heaven, where we owe already cut in the middle. They catch us. So they took $50 away from their $100 donation already. So they took half of our merits away from us. So by the time we get to the heaven, get to the Buddha, only $50 left. That's what Jigong Buddha told us all the time. He only get half of the credit. He didn't get all full merits of what we did. So that's also very important for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like you have a cup and then you're filling it with your merits, but then there's a hole in it and it's leaking out. And so that's we want to stop that, creating that karma, because we have to repay it. So yeah, that's why being vegetarian is very important. Okay.
Try to learn how we cannot become vegetarian immediately. Learn little things every day, a little bit each time. Cut back. Going to be much healthier. You're going to see the difference on the body. Yeah. So it's good. Try it. Yeah.
Okay.
Much healthy. You don't need to sleep that much anymore. You're going to find out.
Think of all the diseases one get from eating meat. High blood pressure, high cholesterol. What else? Diabetes. A lot of diseases come from eating meat.
Yeah.
So we stop eating meat. I mean, it's not that we will never get sick, but we will not have so many diseases.
Yeah. Right. Okay. All right. So we'll continue here. So basically, karma. The thing about karma is that not everything is determined in our lives, because we also have free will, and not everything in our lives is predetermined. Okay, so we can make choices. We can do things. Now, our choices may be influenced by the conditions, right, or by the karma, but ultimately we still choose. Okay, what we do, make some decisions. All right. Sometimes things happen to us that's outside of our control. That's usually maybe it's karma, or it could still be due to someone else's free will, not necessarily karma, but usually probably it's karma. All right. So if we want to understand our karma, we just look in our current life. The way our current life is, that's based on our past karma. And to know what our future holds, then just look at what we're doing what we've done in this life, right? But the golden, if we just follow this golden rule, right, to treat others as we would want others to treat ourselves, that's the way. Basically all the religions, they all teach that, because that is the way to. Obviously, we all want to be treated well, right? So we should treat everyone well. Then, if that happens, there'll be peace on earth, right? We won't be creating bad karma. But okay, so the past is the past. We have this past karma. Cultivation is the only way to change that. Because so things that are predetermined by karma, we can still change it through our cultivation in this life. Cultivating our virtues and performing merits. These are merits that are what we call virtuous merits that are not, no strings attached, no unconditional. Right? So we do things without expecting some return or expecting recognition, expecting any rewards. Because then, if we can, because if we accept the reward or recognition, that is the payback from that good deed, right? So that won't offset the karma. So it has to be without any condition. Then that can offset karma, right? Okay. So basically, this law of cause and effect, causality it's inescapable within this relative realm. In the realm of yin yang, right? We have this causality. If we can attain, get to this level of a Buddha, you can say that there's no causality at that level. Okay, they don't create the causes, and they don't reap those results. Okay, so the past deeds can't be undone. Right, despite our karmic consequences are predestined, we can change our future through cultivation. Right, having a proper and positive attitude and mindset. That's also very important. Actually, karma, it starts in the mind and it can end in the mind. Okay, we created the karma initially from our mind, and so if we want to end it, we have to end it in our mind as well. Right, so having a positive outlook on everything, being able to accept the karma as it comes, and then just let it go when it's done. That is the way to get through the karma. And without creating any more, right? So if the karma comes to us, we have a disease, and we start blaming, heaven, blaming everyone that why did this happen to me? Then we're just going to perpetuate that karma. So we have to accept it and be grateful. Always be grateful. That's really the key in life. Is if we can be grateful, then we can overcome a lot of these things. Being grateful and repent. Even though we don't know what we did that caused this karma, we repent. And when we can do that, then the karma can be resolved more quickly. All right. Then the other way is making vows, making and fulfilling vows. Very important. So that's why we have vows. Like when we receive the Tao, we have 10 vows. Then when we attend a Dharma class, then we can make some other vows. All these vows are, you can say it's like on one level, it's like a motivational force for us to move forward, to progress, and to cultivate. But really, when we do that, when we make vows, there is, you can say, heaven, the Buddhas, they can help us. Okay, we don't make a vow. Say, okay, I'm a good person. I do good deeds. I don't want to make a particular vow. Say, but I want to do these things. Heaven is not going to help us.
When we make a vow,
Well-
we also setting goals for ourselves
Yeah, it's a goal.
to achieve, and we also. Oh, go ahead.
The importance of vows is this. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not okay. Buddha, you can say, oh, how can that be? That's not fair because Buddha's supposed to be merciful, right? Compassionate. It's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Buddhas are compassionate and merciful, right? Okay, and they'll help everybody, but their aid or help to those who do not make vows are limited,
Yeah.
right?
Not as much.
Are small. Whereas people who make vows, their help to those people who make vows are even greater. So that's why it's good to make vows. I mean, so because that's the power of vows. You can say that's the
Right.
power of vows.
Right.
That's why all Buddhas make vows. All, not Buddha, Bodhisattvas, saints, all make vows. All have vows. So that's why it's important to have vows.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. So if you don't have vows, you can say, yeah, Buddha, help. They take that help, but it's only limited. It's very little. Okay? Or it's not that efficient. Maybe that's a better word. But if you make vows, Buddhas will help you, and it'll be even better. Okay? It's like bigger blessing. Okay? That's the
Yeah.
importance of vows.
Yeah.
Let's come back to one. The most important thing on those karma right now. The most important thing in our daily life, when we do something, we always thinking, right? I'm thinking about yesterday. I'm thinking about tomorrow. I'm thinking about now. I'm thinking what happened to that person. One thing very critical every day when we have nothing to do, calm down.
Don't take too much.
Calm down ourselves. Don't think at all. Try to practice. Do not waste any thought and get rid of all affinity. We can close the eyes, or you can close the eyes 70-80%. It's up to the individual. Okay? And then our tongue touch
The tip of your tongue touches the roof of
okay.
your mouth.
And then practice
While you're
every day.
doing that.
Just calm down. No thought. No good, no bad.
Empty your mind of all thoughts.
Then, but our Puna nature, our spirit, got to stay inside. It cannot come out. Okay. Then just practice. No thought. Practice that every day. Okay. Then do not have a thought in ourselves. Okay. That's the most important thing. If you want to become Buddha, is like we have to practice it every day. That's how we teach yourself. Okay. And the other thing is, when we think about something, this is a very important concept based on literature. We are thinking something. There's a lot of karma there, which are not mature yet. It's somewhere. We did it before in previous life. It's not mature yet. But we are thinking something. We bring this come together with our thought, make them mature at this moment, and something will happen to us. So be careful. When we think about something, we might bring that karma because they're not mature yet.
Fruition,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
bring it early. Bring it on early.
So that's we
Right.
got to be careful there. So when we have nothing to do, especially we get older, especially old people get older, nothing to do. Nothing
They
to
only
do.
think about
Only
what happened to them in the
think of-
past.
Yeah. So when you think of too many things, that's
So
what
you have
happens.
those three
That's
minds.
no good. So
Right? Those
practice
three minds. You
that
have
get rid of
those
all
three
feelings every day. Just in front of
Elderly
chair, 2 minutes,
people, all they talk about is the
up to
past,
individual.
like my
Just
mom.
do it every day.
Keep talking
Say,
about the
let's
past.
practice for 1 minute. We got 1 minute there. Practice. Close our eyes. You want to close completely. You want to close 80%. Up to you. And then our tongue touch the
The roof of the mouth.
root of the mouth. Yeah. Don't think anything at all. No good, no bad. Still.
If a thought comes into your mind, get rid of it,
Let it
and
go.
and let go again. Empty your mind again.
It's not easy, but
It's not
we
easy.
have to practice.
And a lot of times you may fall asleep, which is okay.
Which is good. Which
If
is
you don't
I
think
always
about it,
fall
well,
asleep.
maybe you might dream.
So, try to do that. Teacher asked us to do hour per day.
Hour per
Practice
day.
1 hour per day, okay?
It doesn't have to be 1 hour at one time. It could be an accumulation of 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here, and throughout the day, and it adds up to 1 hour.
And you'll find out your energy is much better, okay, every day. The reason because we don't let go, our energy will not waste it. So those kind of practice every day, okay? That's why we have one temple member in Taiwan. He only practiced 8 months. You know what happened to him?
Huh?
To this 这个 temple member. He's not temple master. He's not lecturer. He only practiced 8 months. What happened? 他心通.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
how do you
mind.
translate that?
He's a
Passing
special
through.
case.
Well, he's special, okay?
No,
The
we all-
spirit can travel.
No, he can
He's not
he
special.
can know what his wife is thinking now. He can read their mind. He read people's mind. Only 8 months later.
If someone knocks at his door, he will know who that person is behind the door and what they're here to talk to him about.
Yeah, it's not. That's not. Yeah, it's
No,
not.
this is what
His sixth sense is much stronger
Yeah,
than
yeah.
ours.
This is now
Well,
we,
his Buddha
this is
nature
now
can-
we are
His Buddha
pursuing.
nature has
This will
come out and
come later on,
expand.
come out
And
later
that's
on.
like Shibuti too.
Okay.
Shibuti could do that.
Everybody, all the Buddha can do it. 4.5 years later, you know what happened to
It's called
him now?
Sanmei. Sanmei.
He can listen to all the saint Buddha and all the invisible spirits are talking. They are talking to each
You
other.
can hear the
He can
Buddha,
hear us.
hear the conversation
He can hear
in
us.
You
absolute
can hear the
heaven.
spirits.
He
Yeah.
can hear us, all the talking.
But at the same time,
Yeah.
if you have accomplished to that level, do not tell anybody.
Yeah.
Because if you do, the spirits will
Ask
come forward to you and ask you to
Well, you'll
help them.
attract. You'll
Now
attract
that would
them.
be scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay, spirits. We're not talking about angels or saints or Buddhas.
if we practice all the time, sooner or later we're going to have that capability. This is one.
That would
This
be
is
scary.
part of our Buddha nature function of Buddha nature. Don't. That's what
Especially
Buddha.
when you're
They knew
listening to
what's
them
going on. They
speak,
knew all
and
stuff.
then maybe
So they
say
have
something.
ability.
Some people love to
We all have
brag.
that
Yeah,
ability.
Oh, I did
But
it.
we have
I did it.
all
But
those
they don't realize.
desire,
Yeah.
three poisons.
Here comes
You
all
know,
the spirits.
Greedy, desire, obsession, block it. So that's why we couldn't do what they are doing. So that's why Holy Teacher wants us to practice every day, everybody. Mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
And you can do it anywhere, anytime. You can do it in the subway, on the bus, waiting for somebody. You can do it.
Yeah, just practice.
Okay,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be in your own room or your own home.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I think
Oh,
time
yeah,
is up.
yeah. The only other thing I want to mention about as a cultivator, okay, so normally a person, they have to wait for the karma to come, you know, the timing of the karma, right? Because the timing, it could be over many lifetimes. But for us as a cultivator, it's basically we can compress it all into this one lifetime. Okay, so whatever we would normally be, you know, resolve some karma in 3 lifetimes, we do it in all in one lifetime. So that means we do have to put in more effort to cultivate, right? But the advantage is that we can complete it in one lifetime, and then we don't have to worry about the next lifetime again.
That's called commutation
yeah,
of
so
karma.
you can say, yeah, it's like,
Commutation.
yeah, it's like compressing
Or
it.
transcommutation of karma. That's a term. That's
Yeah.
that concept.
So, yeah, so that's something. That's why we do have to, obviously, work a little bit more, do a little bit more in our cultivation
Right.
than a normal person would, because for them they're just caught up in that whatever normal karmic, time flow. For us, because this lifetime we can transcend, and so we have to pretty much try to clear up our karmic debts in this lifetime, right?
Well, yeah, as much as possible.
Let's finish
Yeah.
all this life.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
one lecture in the temple. One lecture. You know what happened? He's supposed to suffer 30 lifetimes.
Oh, yeah.
30 lifetimes. Okay?
Hmm.
And now you tell her she still has 13 lifetimes to go.
Hmm.
13 lifetimes to go. She finished 17
That's
already.
right.
So, you know what happened to her? She had a lot of accidents. Auto accidents. She's broken every piece of the body, right? And then all happen all the time. Every time something happen, okay? And teacher said, if you can, in this lifetime, if people put one effort there, you have to put 13 times of effort. This lifetime, because you still have 13 lives to go if you don't finish that. Because she's supposed to have 30 lives time to have the same punishment, same payback. So she said she needs 13 times of all other people's effort to pay back this lifetime if she want to go back. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
Is
Scary.
she young or old?
yeah, I have no idea, but teacher told her that.
Yeah.
Happened to her.
Okay, so yeah, so just remember again, karma. We create karma in our mind with our thoughts. So everything starts from there, and so we have to be careful of our thoughts. And so doing that practice of emptying our mind, not thinking of anything, don't let go of the thoughts. Don't create any sort of mental attachments to things. Then that's the way to help us to cultivate. Because anytime we have karma or we create these attachments, that just becomes an obstacle, an obstacle for us to achieve the goal, to transcend. Those are obstacles, and so we want to try to get rid of as many obstacles as we can, and that's one thing that we can get rid of as an obstacle. Yeah. All right.
And then one thought is one karma. We remember one concept. One thought is one karma. Okay? So how many thoughts we have every day? How many thoughts we have every day?
Lots.
A lot of it, right? How many karma we create in a day?
A lot.
A lot. So one thought is one karma. So if be careful, one thought is one karma. So we don't want to create more karma. So one thought is one karma. So sometimes we think it could be 10, 20, hundreds a day. Then we have create 100 karmas already, big karmas already. One thought is one karma. Yes. Be careful on that one.
It's scary.
So you cannot even think. So our was a tune of
No, it's not that you didn't think. Like I said earlier, be positive. Always look at the good thing, good side.
Don't be attached.
Yeah, don't become attached to things. That's the key, really.
Right. You can have thoughts, but they come and go.
Yeah, the thoughts, as long as you can let them go, don't become attached.
Well,
Yeah.
you need good thoughts and do not be
Attached to any. Yeah.
Right.